And actually, if we put our phones down for 1 minute and look around us, we'll actually see that there are stories happening. All we have to do is spot them. And she actually found that 3 years after his death, her grieving for him was getting worse instead of better. She grieved for him every single day. And the thing that made the grieving worse was that she'd started to forget what the sound of his voice was like. Until one day, she took a phone call from a friend who said, whatever you do tonight, don't go home the normal way. Take a detour across London. You need to go to Embankment Station, and it has to be the northbound platform. And in rumbled a tube train, which came to a stop, and the doors opened, and a voice said to her, "This is Embankment Station, please mind the gap." And the voice speaking to her was her husband's. Because unbeknownst to her, 25 years before, he'd done some voice work for London Underground. I carried that clipping around in my pocket until it dissolved. And I chewed the idea around in my head until now, 2.5 years on, I know how I'm going to retell that story. And it's no longer about a 60-year-old woman, it's about an 18-year-old boy. So he's not married, he's not lost his wife, he's lost his dad. The fact that the details have changed doesn't matter. The human emotion of the story, the potential for great drama from those 150 words is what's important. Because I can guarantee you, behind every single front door, there's at least one story waiting for you to retell. The next time your next door neighbour leaves their house, I want you to watch them. Are they leaving for work one morning in the middle of August and it's 30 degrees outside, yet they're wearing a fur coat that goes all the way down to the floor and they've got the collar turned up? What possible reason could they have for wearing a coat like that in the middle of summer? Or watch them when they leave for work one day. Do they leave for work pulling a suitcase behind them that looks like it weighs a ton, only to come back half an hour later and the suitcase is light as a feather? What might have been in the case? The most stupid, mundane little things that you spot on your street, coming out of a front door, can be the amazing starting point for a story. When I wrote Heroic, this is a book about brotherhood, about how far you would go to keep someone in your life that you love safe. So every morning before I started to write this book, 6 months it took me to write the first draft, and every morning before I started to write, I listened to the same song, an obscure album track by Bruce Springsteen called Terry's Song. It's a song that not many people have heard about, and the reason I listened to that song was because the song was about the same themes that the book was about. And by listening to that 3.5 minutes of music, it completely focused my mind and reminded me of what I wanted to do in the story.